Film buffs will frequently cite Citizen Kane or Gone with the Wind as early classics. But a new exhibit at the Detroit Institute of Arts seeks to showcase lesser-known Black filmmakers and actors who have a rich history of their own. Jeffrey Brown has the story for our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
Regeneration, a silent film released in 1923, was a romance set in the South Seas, featuring an all-black cast. It's just one of more than 500 so-called race films produced for Black audiences between 1915 and 1950.
There was an African-American sort of cultural production, folks working in front of and behind the camera, using the tools of modern technology to create these visual stories. This is a parallel history that has been overlooked, yet still has been critical to the ways in which we understand film history.
Co-curators Rhea Combs and Doris Berger uncovered this parallel history of Black film in an exhibition originally presented at the Academy Museum in Los Angeles, now at the Detroit Institute of Arts. Covering the first 73 years of Black cinema, the exhibition takes its name from that 1923 silent-era film, which survives only in a heavily damaged 11-minute fragment. Elliot Wilhelm is the DIA's film curator.
We can see a portion of what it was, but we can also see in a physical way the neglect and the decay that happened to the film. And in a way, it's a metaphor for what the exhibition is about, the erasure of the past.
On display, surviving evidence of this overlooked history: documents, costumes, film clips, and vivid posters, like this one for the 1939 film Reform School.
What is really stunning is the actress, Louise Beavers. She's mostly known in Hollywood films in supporting characters. Hollywood offered Black actors and actresses most often butlers and mammy roles. But in this film, she's not playing a supporting character, but the main character. She is the star of the film. She is the boss of the prison and would like to see a prison reform. A very topical story to this day.
It means to change from bad to good, to make better morally.
Reform School, in fact, was released the same year as two film classics, Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. But it was long believed to be lost. Now it, along with three others, has been fully restored and is part of Regeneration's accompanying screening series.
We can wax poetic about films like Gone with the Wind, but at the same time we had other works taking place like Reform School. These films highlight that African American experiences are not a singular story.
The exhibition does reckon with the pervasive racial stereotypes in early films, including the minstrel performances of Bert Williams, who starred in the unreleased Lime Kiln Field Day, the earliest surviving feature film with an all-black cast. And the exhibit juxtaposes its film artifacts with the work of contemporary artists. Here, Carol Walker taking on Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin, which also became a 1903 film.
She is providing us another way to look at this work. She's interrogating it. She's challenging it.
The early cinema section of Regeneration ends in 1915, the year a technically innovative but deeply racist film was released.
Just seeing in person this invitation to the White House for the premiere of Birth of a Nation is really emotional for me.
Danielle Aliska, a Detroit-based filmmaker visiting the exhibition, found inspiration for her own work amid the hard truths of history on display.
But if I could take anything from this particular film is that it had such a wide impact on people and made them do things. And I just think about my own films and how I can utilize my films to, in a positive way, to impact my people.
Long ago, the power of films also drew in Madeline Anderson.
We went to the movies practically every week, and I saw that there was something wrong with this picture. Black people were always presented in pejorative ways. They were always lazy, not too smart, happy to do anything that their masters said. And at first it made me angry. And then it made me sad. And then as I grew older, it made me want to do something about it.
And that meant becoming a filmmaker yourself.
Exactly.
At 96, Anderson is believed to be the only surviving filmmaker featured in Regeneration. Through her 1970 documentary, I Am Somebody, about black nurses in South Carolina trying to unionize.
We want to be recognized, not because of our race, but because we are human beings.
I myself, being a working mother, black woman, identified so closely with them. They were my sisters.
Anderson has made a career working in television and on films.
I wanted to be a filmmaker that showed the achievements of black people, and I also wanted to work in the struggle for equality for my people. And that's what I've done all my life. I've been an activist filmmaker.
And she's still at it, about to go into post-production on a film about her own life.
Despite so many structural challenges, people still felt compelled and they still felt inspired to do this work.
I Am Somebody is prominently featured in the final chapter of the exhibition, alongside the likes of Melvin Van Peebles and Gordon Parks. Taken as a whole, the hope is this showcase of black film history up to 1971 will celebrate it in new ways. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jeffrey Brown.